As someone striving to live as natural a lifestyle as possible, I had my heart and mind set on having a natural birth. However, my son was a breech baby, and so I went on to have a planned C-section. Hello and welcome. My name is Janetta aka Jetta, and today I would like to share with you my birth story. 7 months ago, I gave birth to my son via a planned C-section in Accra, Ghana. It was in no way my preferred way of giving birth. This pregnancy was actually my second one. With my first one, I did have a vaginal birth, but I ended up getting an epidural after enduring nearly 18 hours of labor. So with this one, I figured that I knew what to expect for labor. So I started preparing myself physically, mentally, and emotionally to have the natural birth that I desired. I made sure to eat right. I made sure to work out more or less consistently throughout the entire pregnancy. I practiced breathing and relaxation techniques, and I listened to birth affirmations and birth meditation videos. My son had been breached for quite a while, but we knew that babies often change positions throughout the pregnancy, especially if it is not your first pregnancy, and that they had enough time until towards the end of the 9 months to actually flip into the right position. However, at my 34th week appointment, we found out that he still had not turned head down, but the doctor was not concerned. However, I was concerned because I knew that if he did not flip, it meant I would have a C-section, and I wanted at all costs to avoid having a C-section. So when we went home, I immediately started looking up different ways to try and turn a breech baby, and I tried out everything. I tried the holding a bag of frozen peas to my stomach around the area where I thought his head was. I lay down with my butt up in the air. I tried different yoga poses. I went on spinning babies and tried some of the advice that was posted there on how to flip a breech baby. I tried so many things, and I was hoping that by my next appointment, which was at 36 weeks pregnant, that something would have changed. On some days, I thought that it had worked because I would wake up in the morning and it would feel as though he had shifted. So I would think, yes, finally, he is turning. No, he was just playing around in there. Anyways, my 36th week appointment came around, so the doctor started cautioning us that we may need to consider a C-section if he did not turn by 37 weeks. So I kept trying out the different things, and I also prayed. I prayed hard. I prayed to God that he would turn this baby and that he would whisper in his ear to turn head down into the right position so I could get the natural birth that I so desired. But my 38th week appointment came around and he had not turned. So at that point, the doctor was this was a Wednesday, the doctor was going to schedule me already for the C-section on the Friday. And I was like, no, 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 I am so not ready for this. No, I can't. No, no, just no. I wasn't ready. I was still working. I hadn't even finished washing the baby's clothes, setting up. We didn't even have a name. I was not ready. So he noted in my file that they were recommending for me to have a C-section that Friday, but that I wished to postpone my C-section for one more week. So I went home, I started preparing myself and coming to terms with the reality of having a C-section. I continued trying to get him to flip. I continued to pray. And at that point in time, I just started praying that he would still flip for me to have a natural birth, but also that if it was really the best thing for me, for the safety of the baby and for my own safety to have a C-section, then I prayed that it would go well and that it would go smoothly and I would have no complications from it. We had the C-section planned for a Friday. So I was asked to come to the hospital a day before, so the Thursday morning, in order to do all the checks and all the monitoring and prep work for the C-section sometime in the morning or afternoon of the following day, the Friday. So the Thursday morning, my husband and I got to the hospital at around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I walked up to the reception desk and told them I was coming in to be admitted for my C-section. So they sent me straight up to the labor ward. When I got there, I was given a room and I was given breakfast, which was really nice because I hadn't really eaten anything that morning. The nurses came in to do the different checks. I got strapped to the fetal fetal monitor for a bit and so on. So my husband and I just hang out in there for the rest of the day, and then in the evening he left to go home because he was not allowed to sleep at the hospital. So around 3 o'clock the next morning, I felt a gush of water leaving my body. And I thought, did I just pee on myself or did my waters break? So I just laid there wondering whether it was going to happen again. And it did. So I got off the bed and went into the bathroom and sat on the toilet, and I got another gush of water, and I was like, oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. This is not pee. This is amniotic fluid. I am going into labor. Oh my God, I'm going into labor at 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't even know when my C-section is happening today. So I got back onto the bed, made sure to lie down flat, because with breech babies, the risk is that if you go into labor and your waters break, that the umbilical cord could actually fall beneath the baby, and as the baby descends, that they will end up sort of sitting on the cord, cutting off oxygen to the baby. So I lay down flat on the bed and I rang the bell for the nurse. So she came in and I told her that I think my waters broke. She asked me whether it was clear. I said it was clear. There was no discoloration. So she said, okay, let's check. So she checked and it was indeed amniotic fluid. And the funny thing is, as soon as I got back onto the bed and called for the nurse, my contractions started. They were initially coming every 5 minutes, then they were coming every 3 minutes. So I was definitely in labor. They also brought in the fetal heart rate monitor, so they strapped me to it and they started monitoring the baby's heartbeat. He was fine. So the nurse alerted the doctor. He came in, he asked me a couple of questions. I also told him that I was having contractions and that they were coming every 3 minutes. So they told me that they had alerted my doctor, but he was not on duty that night, so it was likely going to have to be another obstetrician who was going to perform the surgery. So in a way, my planned C-section turned into an emergency C-section. They alerted the OR, they were getting everything ready, and I think approximately an hour after my waters broke, I was being wheeled into the operating room. As soon as my waters broke, I also called my husband to tell him that I was in labor and he needed to get there immediately. So luckily, about 30 minutes after I called him, he actually arrived at the hospital. So he was with me just before I was being taken into the OR. So I changed out of my clothes. I was given the green gown. They gave me a giant pad because I was still leaking amniotic fluid. And then when the OR was ready, I was met at the entrance by a nurse who took over from the labor ward nurse, and she took me into the OR where I met the anesthesiologist. The obstetrician was also prepping himself, and the other staff were also getting ready. So the anesthesiologist was amazing. She walked me through the entire process of what was going to happen. She really made me feel very calm and at ease. She was basically the one who held my hand throughout the entire operation because I was so nervous. So after she explained the process of what was going to happen in the operating room, I had to sit on the edge of the bed for when they administered the anesthesia, and what I got was the spinal block. So I could not feel anything from here onwards. As soon as they administered the block, I started getting a really tingly, warm feeling in my legs, and apparently it was supposed to happen that way. They helped me to lie down flat on the operating table. I had the anesthesiologist, and the anesthesiologist stood at my back, and she was just talking to me about random things. I don't even remember what we're talking about now, but it was just very random chit-chat conversation to keep my mind off what was about to happen because I was just so nervous. At some point in time, I did mention to her that I was starting to feel a bit nauseous, so she was like, okay, that can happen. So she adjusted the medication a little bit. Then I felt better afterwards, and I also let her know that I was feeling better. So after just about 10, maybe 15 minutes, I could feel some pulling and tugging in my stomach area, and the anesthesiologist told me that they were getting the baby out. So soon after that, She said the baby was out, and just a few seconds later, he started crying. And guys, I got so emotional that I started crying at the moment. Like I don't know, I cannot explain the feeling of relief when you hear your baby cry for the first time. Like because you know that they're supposed to cry, so when they cry, it means that they're okay, you know? Anyways, yeah, they gave him to the pediatric nurse, and she brought him over to me so I could see him. And they asked me to tell them whether it was a boy or girl. I mean, they know, but I guess for security reasons, they ask you to tell them whether the gender. So I looked at him and was like, oh, it's a boy. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention that my husband and I did not want to know the sex. So up until now, we did not know the gender of the baby. And so when I looked down at him, I was like, oh, it's a boy. I was so happy because we already had two older girls. So the girls had gotten their little brother. At that point in time, I think just the relief, the fact that it was over, the fact that he was out and he was okay, that feeling of relief was just so overwhelming that I started to get really drowsy. So unfortunately, I couldn't hold him, I couldn't breastfeed him, I couldn't do anything of that inside the operating room. So they just wrapped him up in a blanket and took him out to get me daddy, my husband, who was standing outside the operating room, and to get him cleaned up and dressed up. So my husband actually went with them for him to get cleaned up. So in the meantime, I was still in the OR. I was getting stitched up, and it didn't take much time. I think it just took about 15-20 minutes to get stitched up. And during that time, I was still very groggy, and I was very sleepy from the medication. So when they were done, they had to lift me onto a different bed, and they took me just outside the OR into what they called the recovery room. I was there for probably an hour. I was in and out of sleep because again I was very groggy from the medication that I was given. So after the hour or so, then I was wheeled into my actual hospital room. Since they had shown me the baby right after he was taken out, I hadn't seen him again. And for me, one of the really important things that I wanted to make sure to do, even though I was having a C-section, was to initiate breastfeeding as soon as he was delivered, because those first few hours after delivery are really important to establish that breastfeeding relationship. So as soon as I actually came to my room, I asked my husband to alert the nurses to bring me my son as soon as possible because I wanted to breastfeed him. Soon after that, they did bring him to me, and he was all wrapped up in his blanket. He was dressed in his hat and his onesie, and he looked so cute. So I still had not regained sensation in my legs. So I was not very mobile in bed. So I asked my husband to place him right next to me, and he helped me move onto my side like this so I could actually breastfeed him in that position. And luckily for us, we did not experience any latching issues or anything like that. He latched on immediately, and he breastfed really well throughout our stay in the hospital. So this was basically my planned C-section. This is how it happened, and we went on to stay in the hospital for 3 more days. So I checked into the hospital on Thursday, and we were discharged on Monday afternoon. And throughout the time, I continued to have a device that was strapped onto me in the OR, which was pumping morphine to help with the pain. And I had that in for I think about 2 or 3 days before it was taken out, and then I was just giving oral pain medication. And once again, I just have to commend the staff of the hospital. The nurses were so attentive, they were so nice. Each time I needed something, they were there. They often came in to check on me on how I was doing. And there was one day where I said that I was feeling I was in a lot of pain, so they took a second look at my pain medication, and it turned out that there was one that I was forgetting to take. So they alerted me and reminded me to take the pain medication. So the C-section procedure itself went very well. What I hated though was the recovery because I was in so much pain. It is painful. I had read that that was the case, but pain really did hit me over the head. And if I have to choose between labor and recovering from the pain of a C-section, I will take labor. Seriously, I am more scared of the C-section pain than contractions. Yes, I said that. Anyways, so as I mentioned, we were in the hospital until Monday. Monday afternoon, we were discharged and we came home, and the girls got to meet their little brother. So this was my planned C-section experience, a planned C-section which kind of ended up becoming an emergency C-section because I went into labor hours before I was supposed to actually have it. But still, we had planned for it, and I was out, and luckily I was already in the hospital when I went into labor. Of course, I'm still coming to terms with the fact that I did not have my desired natural birth, and the fact that I may not be able to have a natural birth with my next baby. I'm really hoping to have a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after a cesarean, but there are no guarantees. I may not be able to find a doctor who will allow me to do that. So that really, really sucks. But let's see, who knows tomorrow, right? Anyways, I hope this story puts somebody at ease. I hope that if you have a breech baby and you're being told that you need to have a planned C-section and that was not the birth plan that you had envisioned at all, that it can be okay. A planned C-section is not the end of the world. That is that. That is the story of my positive planned C-section in Ghana. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.